speech today is our first second speaker today is distinguished speaker Cindy Baldwin. She is working in her 4th Competent Communicator Manual. The project she is presenting today is her icebreaker. Since we already know a little bit about Cindy, she has chosen to tell us something we might not known that happened to her when she was young and what she learned from the experience. Please help me welcome Cindy Baldwin.
Well, I was 23 years old, and I was 8 months pregnant. Keith was going to college full-time, and I was working at Alascom as an executive secretary. So life was going really good for us as a young couple. And then one day, my boss called me in her office. Kind of funny look on her face. She goes, "Cindy, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to lay you off." And I think I walked back to my desk. But of course, my mind was just reeling, and I was thinking, what a catastrophe! I'm the sole income earner. What are we going to do? I worked my butt off for these people. Gosh, I'm the best secretary they have. There's this roll of executive secretaries. And then, of course, I realized all of us were getting laid off. I'm thinking, but I was the best one. They need one. But what if I wasn't the best one? Maybe somebody is staying. What if I can't get a job? What am I going to do? I mean, I was just, you can imagine just the sick feeling I had in my stomach. And of course, I was dreading telling Keith, too. So I went back in and I said, can't you do anything? I mean, I can't believe this. I just didn't want to believe it, to tell you the truth. And she said, well, you can apply for any open jobs that there are. It's a big company. Alascom's big even then. Of course, I'm thinking to myself, great, probably entry-level positions. I'll probably end up back in the mailroom like when I started, you know. But I did manage to go back and looked at the open jobs, and there was one that looked promising. It was a supervisor operator services. And I didn't know really what that was, and I didn't really feel like I was qualified to be a supervisor, but I did know that those operators answered the phone when you dial 0, so I applied. And then when I was being interviewed, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm feeling much more than 8 months pregnant, and to me, that's all I can think about, and I don't even know how I answered the questions. Later on, I couldn't have told you what I said or what she asked me. But she never said a thing, and I kind of felt like the elephant in the room. I wasn't really very hopeful. But about a week later, my boss called me into her office, and she said I was their top candidate. But because of my lack of experience and my lack of a college degree, that I would get the job as a trainee if I wanted it, and get the secretarial pay for a year, and if I didn't cut it, then I was still laid off. Or if I did, then, you know, if the new manager said that I did a good job, then I would start getting managerial pay. And I was like, oh, okay, yes. So I said, you know, yes, I'll accept those terms. Yes. But I tell you, you know, the following Monday morning, I went to a different building, into a room with 300 telephone operators, because this is during the pipeline days. There was 10 supervisors. We worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, different shifts, and it was just a totally foreign environment for me. But, you know, I figured I could learn what they do, and I could learn this job. And then after I learned what the job was, I figured I would learn what working in a union environment was like. But it didn't work out in that order. Because shop stewards are different than stewards. They're not there to take care of us and, you know, make sure we have everything that we need. They watched every move I made, and they reported me on a daily basis for some mistake, real or imagined. One day I was called into my manager's office, and the shop steward's sitting there, and she doesn't say anything. Normally she would kind of tell me what the problem was. She just looked at him, and he says, Cindy, the operators have been complaining, and I'm thinking, again. You smile too much.
Oh.
I'm like, I kind of smile all the time. He says, well, you know, it makes people nervous. You're walking around, you're smiling. People are wondering, what are you up to? So anyway, I dealt with that, and I dealt with the fact that our managers seemed to always pick on me to fire someone. And it seemed like it was always the really scary ones that would threaten me and stuff like that would happen. But over the years, you know, I got used to it. I got used to working in a union environment. I got used to all the rules. And I got to appreciate what it's like answering a new telephone call every 5 to 7 seconds, having every word dictated to you by the management. You can't use any other words. And learned how to make sure that every single call was answered within 2 seconds, 24 hours a day. So it was a great learning ground for me. And really, in hindsight, I think it made me a much better supervisor, because now I think before I speak. I try to be very tactful. I supervise everybody exactly the same. And I just think I'm much more fair than a lot of other supervisors because of the way that I learned. It was all trial by fire, and they didn't provide a lot of other good training. So it turned out really to be one of the very best things that could have happened for me. It was my college degree, was those, I actually was there for 10 years, but you know, I was making good money by the time I was 24, and it all worked out really great. So the lesson in it is, whenever you get bad news, breathe deep and stay calm. Remember that you do know a lot and you're up for a challenge. Keep your confidence up. Lean on your support team, because I did a lot. And always keep your emergency savings and